Welcome, welcome. This is Triple Play Fantasy Basketball. I'm your host, Coach James Lewis, our draft analyst here at Triple Play. I'm going to give you a quick analysis through our top 60 big board for this year's 2022 NBA draft right before the big dance. Let's get right into it. There, international love. There's always going to be that. This is a world's game. These players are not in the top 60, but they are. I did that kind of to flex a couple players in and out. So Ishmael Kamagate, Paris, Gabriel Procita, Matteo Spagnola, playmaking supreme, Khalifa Job, Yannick Noza. I expect all of these players to get drafted. So some of these people in the top 60, I'm going to see. And Hugo Besson, not on that list. Of France playing for the Breakers this year. You should hear his name selected. He's a crafty guard. Exciting, a draft prospect. Little honorable mention before we crack the top 60. Caleb Love has been having an up and down year, but if he plays like he did against number 4 Duke, where he had 22 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, you could see his name drafted. But come back another year. Speaking of coming back, Peyton Watson, somebody that was supposed to go top 15 in this year's draft, just really hasn't found his footing in college basketball. But I see sky's the limit for him. Come back another year. You'll put your name in that lottery hat again. Suppose John Butler, 7'1", freshman from Florida State, shows flashes of elite shooting on the wing. That 7'1", unicorn-esque. You'll hear that theme once we get to the top number 1. Come back another year, bring your teammate, Matt Cleveland, and maybe your name gets called in a lottery. If they put their name in the hat, somebody could scoop them up in the late second. Kofi Cockburn, honorable mention, one of the most dominant forces in college basketball. 21 and 11 years past. He would have been a dream for GMs. Isaiah Mobley keeps getting better. We saw that with flashes with his brother last year. I think he's a solid player. I think he has a place in the NBA. 6'10", 240. This junior is a solid player and has NBA potential. Andrew Nebhart, who knows what happens with Gonzaga. But if they cut down the nets, he's somebody that could put his name in the hat and shoots high percentages. And if they do cut down the nets, he's going to be a large part to do with that. Hoonjang Lee, sniper, very quick release. People just covet a 6'7", 210 from South Korea. I just really like his sniping ability. I can see him making the league at a certain point. Ron Harper Jr., 6'6", 245, is foul play for the Bulls. He's got that background pedigree, and he can really shoot the ball very well. He had that game winner against number 1 Purdue at the time, 30 points and 10 rebounds, and somebody, even if he doesn't make the league, I'm looking for in the G League for sure. Scottie Pippen Jr., another guy with background pedigree. I think he's underrated. He's a 3-level scorer. He's averaging 20+, giving you almost 4 boards and 4 assists. I just really like him. I really like his athleticism, and I can see translating, finding the spot down. He's a hard worker. He might be like one of them like Steph Curry guys that gets picked up later on, because I just see him improving more and more. He might come back for a senior year. Iverson Molinar's intriguing prospect. Does a little bit of everything. 18 points. He's a leader of that Mississippi State team. Mike Miles got the NBA body. He needs to come back because I think that he could be a certified first-round pick with his size and his ability. Darian Sebron, sophomore from NC State, leader of that team. 6'7", 180. He could serve for some growth, but when you have a game like 39 points, 19 rebounds, and 4 assists against Nebraska, there might be a team in the second round that really falls in love with you, and you can put your name in a hat. Breaking down our top 60. Justin Moore, to me, underrated NBA prospect. Yes, his shooting ability you want to task a little bit more. He's the best player on that Nova team, if you ask me. And he's very solid built. 6'4", 210. His shooting percentages are a little wholesome, but I like his NBA potential, and I see him getting better each and every year, and I can see him maybe finding a role as a journeyman in the NBA. At 59, someone's come on the scene for UConn, a sophomore, Adamas Sanogo, 6'9", 240. Has been giving you 15 points, 9 rebounds. He's had some stellar games against some elite competition, in particular Auburn. He had 30.6 boards, 2 blocks. St. John's, he had 36 points, 18 boards, 6 blocks. At 38, Jordan Hall, sophomore of St. Joe's, has flashed some NBA potential when you see him on tape. 14.7 boards, 6 assists. There's not many people in college basketball that are doing that, but we would like to see him play against some higher competition. That's where I got him at 58. 57, Orlando Robinson can also benefit from playing for the higher competition. 7 foot, 235, a little throwback big. And you can really score in the post, giving you a steal and a block, giving you 8 boards. Test the waters in combine, see how it goes. If not, you got a senior year of eligibility at 56. Trevion Williams, somebody I've been very impressed with this year's transfer his role into the 6th man. Shows elite passing as a big, and with his IQ and his ability to bully the opponent, there's definitely a place in the NBA for him. At 55, Michael Foster, potentially offensively, he's got it. He's got some explosiveness. Defensively, you want to ask for more. As far as that concerned, he's going to put his name in the hat, and somebody's going to draft him. At 54, Drew Timme. If he came out last year, I would have probably picked him around the same range. He's a hooper. He's good. And I see him having a little bit of longevity in his career, a la maybe a Kelly Olynyk from Gonzaga, in that he's just a good basketball player that can score. So I see him in NBA. At 53, based on potential, Zach Edey at 7'4", really came on the scene for Canada this summer. He's continued as for Purdue this year. I mean, it's one of the reasons why they've been playing really good basketball this year. You just can't teach 7'4". I'll use a background second pick on him. At 52, Keon Ellis. You're looking for him to be a 3-and-D. You see his free throw percentage being 88%. You can see that kind of translate into the NBA. Against number 4 Kentucky at 28 points, 5 boards, and 4 steals. Averages nearly 2 steals a game. Keon Ellis may be the best prospect here for Alabama, but I have a freshman based on potential rated higher, as we'll see JD Davidson coming soon. At 51 and 50, 2 UCLA teammates that took their team to the Final Four. Jaime Jaquez, I think they're becoming a little underrated. I think maybe even I have them underrated in my books now. Jaime Jaquez just really has a really good offensive IQ. Does a little bit of everything. You would want his shooting percentages to be a little bit higher. They were higher last year. Who knows if that's just, a rebound year. But he's a good basketball player, and he's draftable. At 50, I see a little bit higher ceiling with Johnny Juzang because he can really get a bucket. We'll see how this UCLA team. They're a number 4 seed. They might do some damage here in the tournament. But I like Johnny Juzang's offense ability. His defense is, you want more. You want more from that end. But I really think that people have lost some luster for him, and he's just kind of been underrated this entire time. Couldn't even get on court for Kentucky and had a really great bounce back last year for UCLA. Jalen Williams, now these numbers don't lie. 18 points, 4 boards, 4 assists, shooting 52 from the field, 41 from 3, 81 from free throw line. Those numbers stick out, and everybody's looking for somebody with that type of size, that type of shooting ability. So 49 might be a little low for him. David Roddy, I don't know what to make of this guy, the point guard, power forward, whatever you want to call it. He's been killing his conference all year long. This is a very intriguing prospect. I love to watch him play hoop. He's 6'5", 250. looks like a NFL tight end out there. He will body you, and what's improved his draft stock this year and made him a player that I would draft is his shooting percentages. He's shooting 58 rather from the field, 46 from three, over 70 from the free throw line. Against Creighton, who's also in the NCAA tournament, he had 36 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. He's giving you a steal and a block. I'll take him. Josh Minot, sometimes he looks like the best player from Memphis, although Jalen Duran's play recently probably make you be quiet about that. His athleticism off the charts. He can really boom on you. 6'8", 205 is a great prospect, and we're always looking for the future. So as a freshman, I know that their NBA teams, they're going to want to get him. So he's definitely draftable. Jabari Walker is very impressed with his sophomore season. He's really improved offensively and defensively. I think he's 6'9", 215. I think he can really cover. He's a pro, and obviously he's got great pedigree being Ousmane Walker's son. At 45, Christian Coloco, he's the defensive anchor of that Zona team and number one seed in the tournament. And they go as he goes. He's giving you 3 blocks. So he'd be a really good rim runner. But he's had multiple 20-plus games. He's getting boards, he's getting blocks all over the place. This is the year of the big man. You'll see a theme going forward. But Christian Coloco is definitely one of those players that are in consideration. And Combine's going to be hot. Oscar Tshiebwe, best rebounder in college basketball I've seen in a very long time. Yes, he's 6'9", 255. He grabs everything, and you can't coach a motor like he does. 30 points, 18 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 blocks against Arkansas. He's averaging 17 points and 15-plus on boards. Give me some Oscar Tshiebwe all day. 43, just an all-around really good player. Jake LaRavia, 6'8", 235 out of Wake Forest, is a guy that's efficient. He has a little bit of effect, and he can really find a role, to me, in the NBA, being a 8th, 9th guy off the bench. 42, potential pick. Jalen Williams just looks like an NBA player at 6'10", 240. He's a really good athlete for Arkansas, and to me has the best pro potential on that team. It's giving you a block, giving you a steal. Top 40 range. Top 40. What is he? 42. Give me Jalen Williams. Ousmane Dieng, 6'10" wing. Potential pick here for the Breakers. He's finally starting to play a little bit better as of late, but you see some of his workouts. The shot is pure, and again, we're this pick is off potential. At 40, I feel a lot safer. Alondes Williams. He really creates separation, even at the college level. It's hard for people to stay in front of him, and he averages 19, 6.6 rebounds, 5.3 assists. You don't see that normally in college basketball. And when you do, those people become good pros. It makes me think of Io DeSumo last year, just putting up numbers, but not as good. But 34 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists in a game is nothing to sneeze at. And I'm very impressed with his game this season. So moving down to 39, breaking that top 40, Wendell Moore, glue guy. To me, he's like a Iguodala light that does a little bit of everything, and he's found his groove for Duke to be a really good role player and glue guy. You need those in the NBA at 38. Julian Champagnie, his brother went pro last year, didn't get drafted. I think he's the better of the two. He averages 19 points, 6.6 rebounds, 2 assists. Can really score the ball, but defensively, he's giving you 2 steals and a block. They put the ball in his hand, and he makes things move. I think he's an underrated prospect, and I would get him around this range. At 37, Christian Braun. Just been solid all damn year. And he's not just a shooter. He goes and gets after it. Defensively, cut a little bit. I like his game, and I think that there's a place for a 6'6", 218 player like him. At 36, Trace Jackson Davis. I think he's so underrated. Why don't people like him? He's so explosive. He's a gamer. They put the ball in his hands. He's averaging 2.4 blocks. To have a game in college where you have 43 points, 5 boards, 4 assists, and 7 stocks against a really good Marquette team, why don't people like him? Give me all the Trace Jackson Davis stock. I think he's going to be in the NBA a long time, and I just love his explosibility. Yes, he doesn't shoot threes at all. And the NBA is about shooting threes. But he's got a place on my team, if you ask me, at 35. Terquavion Smith, bucket getter supreme, freshman. Come back next year. You'll be top 20. 165 pounds is a little worrisome, but the things that he can do with the basketball is rare. At 34, potential pick, Caleb Houston's really dropped, but I really believe in him. He's 6'8", 205, and he's a really pure shooter. I might even get him higher than this. I think he just hasn't found his footing in college basketball. And it's been a disappointing year. Let's just be honest. It's been disappointing, but I love everything that I've seen from prior to this year. And his shooting still screams volumes to me. JD Davidson, electric freshman. I worry about him, his ability to score in the half court. But other than that, he's just an electric freshman with potential. And it could really go up going forward. So I would take JD Davidson as an early second round pick. He's been compared to Russell Westbrook in the past, and this really is electrifying when he gets it going. At 32, Max Chrisley. Hey, let's be honest, it's been a struggle this freshman year. But when you see him shooting, you see him make a couple shots, you're like, damn, this is pure. He's 6'6". Sky's the limit. He comes back to Sparty next year. He, like a lot of these freshmen and the team that's been here that I've been talking about, it could really put their name into the first round cap. He still could go first round because I can see a team fall in love with him at 31. Harrison Ingram. I think even though his stats don't scream at you, 11 points, 6 boards, 3 assists, and his field goal percentage hasn't been great, he has a really good feel. And at 6'8", 230, playing Team USA in the offseason, I think he's going to be a solid pro because he really just gets it, and he's going to get better going forward. Jean Montero at 30, cracking into the first round. Overtime elite stats, 17 points, 10 boards, 8 assists. He's really shown that his ability to pass the ball with this overtime elite. I don't really know what to make of it with the competition, but he is crafty and he can score in an array of different ways. So, yes, he got a little slight frame at 175, 6'3", but he can really score, and I can see him possibly be like a 6-man scorer off the bench. At 29, Nikola Jovic. Elite shooter, 6'10". I probably got him underrated here because I really think that he's going to be a really good pro. He's just not shooting the ball too well this year, so I got him so low. But there's no way he's going out of the first round. At 28, Bryson McCowens. You see him play 6'7", basically 200 pounds. This freshman from Nebraska playing on the bad team he just looks like a pro. And you pick this guy based on potential going forward. Smooth guard, and sometimes he can really get rolling. At 27, Malachi Branham. These shooting percentages do not lie. 50% from the field, 47 from 3, 83 from the line. At first, I thought, is this a fluke? He just kept it rolling. 6'5", 180. He's an NBA guard going forward with potential to blossom going forward. Against Bryce McCowens that I just showed, he had 35 and 6. That's why he ranked higher. 26, this freshman, Blake Wesley from Notre Dame, has a feel of a veteran. If I'm Notre Dame, I trust the ball in his hand late in the games. And, yeah, he's not shooting the greatest field goal percentage, but he's just a smooth cat that is definitely first round warranted, and I don't know if he drops down to 26. At 25, the little guy, Kennedy Chandler. Yes, he's only 5'11", 6 foot, but he does have a longer wingspan at like 6'5", and he really utilizes that against bigger guards. He's Mr. Do It All. He whatever you need to do to win, he's the guy for it. And I think he's the reason and the leader of this Tennessee Volunteers team. Against Mizzou, he had 23 points, 8 boards, six dimes, 2 steals. It's proof in the pudding that he does a little bit of everything. Trevor Keels, man, he will bully you. He really puts his body on. He's 6'5". He needs to improve with his passing. He needs to improve with his consistency. I think with Duke right now, he's being a little bit too passive. But if you watch game 1 or you watched him against Clemson, he's like, you'd say he's a bona fide lottery pick. But his shooting does make you scratch your head. I just like a 6'5", 220 guard that it really shows glimpses of being an overpowering guard. I like Trevor Keels a lot better than other people do. 23, Patrick Baldwin Jr. It's been a rough year. It's been a bad year. He's on the shelf. It reminds me a little bit of Michael Porter Jr., where you see him in high school being really damn good. I think he's a little bit light Michael Porter Jr., although I don't see as much of injury risk, although he had to put it himself on the shelf. Him and Team USA just being basically 6'10", 220 and have a shot like he does. He's got a place in the NBA for me. 22, Justin Lewis. I got him a lot higher than a lot of people. He's a gamer. He's a hooper. We've seen him hit game winners, 6'7", 245. I really think that he's a versatile forward in this NBA, and I think that he's going to get better and better and better. It might be a little Baltimore homer pick, but watching him closely, he gets better by the day. He lives, eats, and breathes the game of basketball, and I love everything about him. That's why I got my 22, a lot higher than everybody else. Mark Williams at 21, the 7-foot rim runner. He can really protect the rim. It's the year of the bigs. We got one coming next. When you watched him against Syracuse, he was completely dominant. 28 points, 12 boards, 3 blocks. At 20, Walker Kessler has been dominating college basketball all year long. He's giving you 5 blocks a game, a steal, 7'1", 245. And I really think that his shot, even though 21 from three-point line, if you see him in high school, I think that he can stretch the floor as well. I think that it just development, bad year shooting. He's been the anchor of this Auburn Tiger team. At 19, Jeremy Socon. I go back and forth. Who's better between Kendall Brown and Jeremy Socon? They come in for each other. I don't know if he might be even the better player, but percentages, you see them 50 from the field. You want him to be a better three-point shooter, and that's probably why he's a little lower. Free throws, they kind of make you scratch your head, but his game don't lie, and he looks like an NBA player, just like 18, Kendall Brown, his teammate. Smart. The IQ is there. He can defend. He can cut. I like Kendall Brown. I'm seeing him drop in this far. 17, potential pick. Jaden Hardy. It's been rough for a G League Ignite, and Scoot Henderson has maybe take some of that shine as he's looking like a top 3 pick for next year, playing with him and looking like the better pro potential guard. His shooting's erratic. His decision making makes you scratch your head a little bit, but his potential off the chart. He's so rangy. He's really got some moves, and you draft him on potential and see if it hits. 6'4", 200 pounds. Free throw percentage 88. He can really shoot it. It's just not been great for him. And we saw Jonathan Kamina not shoot great percentages and not average this much. So I think Jaden Hardy is going to fall in the laps of a team that's going to love him and hope to develop him. Marjon Beauchamp, has had a really good damn season for Ignite. Maybe their best player, 3-level scorer, and his three-point shot hasn't really clicked percentage-wise, but if you look at it, it looks really good. And to me, steals, blocks, he's your 3-and-D with 3 needs to develop. His transition game is stupid good. At 15, Dyson Daniels just looked like a good basketball player. Does a little bit of everything. He can pass full court. He looked good in that Rising Stars game. He might have boosted his draft stock more than anybody else. Give me 2 steals, a block, 3-and-D, and can play 1, 2, or 3 on the floor. At 14, Tari Eason keeps climbing up my board all year long. He could be a really great, versatile defender. He's averaging 16.5 points, 7 boards, even 2 steals, and a block. At 13, EJ Liddell's just got better and better every year. I still think his shot can improve, but defensively, he shows that he could be solid at the next level, and bona fide leader of this Ohio State team, giving you 19.5 points, 7.6 boards, and 2.8 assists. At 12, Agabi. What a great year he's had. They give the ball to him, and he makes things happen. He gets buckets, 50 from the floor, 43 from 3. He might have benefited the most, so him and Jaden Ivey from coming back this year. 37 points, 7 boards, 2 steals against Texas Tech, but that's like one of many performances like that this year. Tyty Washington at 11 for Kentucky. Get the Kentucky guard. I mean, if he's the best one, you got to get him. They've been hidden in the NBA. He does a little bit of everything. It reminds me a little bit of Kennedy Chandler, but bigger. He's 6'3", 200, 13 points, basically 4 rebounds, 4 assists. And he really showcased his playmaking ability against Georgia when he had 17 dimes at 10. Ben Mathurin, I don't know if he goes this deep. Explosiveness off the chart, can really catch off the shoe, can really runs well off screens, can back cut. His offensive game is not flawless because he can improve his ball handling, but it's strikingly impressive. He's also benefited from coming back this year. At 9, Shaedon Sharpe, don't know what to make of it. I think he's watching his high school tape. He's unbelievable. In his junior year, the last time we saw him, he averaged 24 and 6. Number 1 player in ESPN class of 2022. I would like to see him actually play for Kentucky next year. So I'm kind of hoping that he puts his name in next year's draft. But based on potential, I could see him going 5. But I don't see him going outside of 10. At 8, the model of consistency, Keegan Murray. It's been unbelievable this year. 23 points, 8 boards, 2 steals, 1.3. Every time I see him, he just comes off picks well. He cuts. He really can get a shot open. You put the ball in his hand, got a fadeaway. Love Keegan Murray. At 7, give me Johnny Davis. So impressive for him is he just plays his best games against the best competition. At Purdue, that first time around, he gave 37 points, 14 boards, 4 assists. His improvement from his freshman to his sophomore year is just almost breathtaking. And at 6'5", nearly 200 pounds, his sophomore from Wisconsin is averaging 20.5 points, 8.3 rebounds. At 6, Jalen Duran, just a man-child, the manimal. 2.0. It's 6'11", 250 with a 7'6" wingspan. Can really guard the interior, and I think that sky's the limit for him to improve. You would like him to finish with, I guess, defenders around better. Yes, you want a shooter, but his athleticism speaks for itself, and he can be a game wrecker. At 5, AJ Griffin, which he just gets better each and every day, and he's proven that he is an elite sniper. High release, athletic, 6'6", 222. You draft him based on potential, and you know he could be a future all-star. At 4, the most explosive player in this year's draft is Jaden Ivey. Those workouts with John Morant, they've been working out because he came to play this year, and yeah, he benefited from playing with Team USA, and his confidence is just off the charts. I could see a team fall in love with him, picking him at 3, maybe even 2, depending on how this NCAA run. But the poor kid from Rutgers, he's going to be on poster the rest of his life. Who goes number 1 at 3? Is it Paolo? Is it Chet? It's Paolo. Paolo at 2, or at 3, I'd rather. 6'10", 250, bucket getter. To me, he might lead the rookie class next year in points per game. His decision making needs some improvement, but he's proven that he can pass. He's had games where he's had 9 dimes, 7 dimes. really score. He was putting his body on Chet, and you're not mad if you get the third pick overall. But 2-1. I've been going back and forth. I got to stick with my guy at 1, so that means Jabari Smith. Although I think he's the surest thing, safest floor. This elite shooter, he's the best shooter in the draft to me. It's unblockable. It's really fluid. He needs to improve his ball handling a little bit, but he just keeps on getting better each and every day. 17 points, 7 boards, and he's bona fide leader of this Auburn Tiger team. This has been very, very impressive. Jabari Smith this year. And number 1, the unicorn himself, Chet Holmgren. He can handle, pulls up from 3, gets the rebound, self-running break. I think that his confidence offensively needs to improve. I think that he's got levels that he hasn't hit yet, but the reason why I got him number 1 is just his defensive ability, altering shots. He blocks threes. Reminds me a little bit of an Evan Mobley with a J. He's that damn good. And BYU is on full display. 20 points, 16 boards, 6 assists, and 5 blocks. Let me know what you think. This is a lot of fun. This is my big board 1.0. I can't wait for March Madness to see how all that plays out. But give me a like. Let me know in the comments, respectfully, how you feel. I got somebody too high. I got somebody too low. Why don't I have this person in my top 60? I want to hear it. We can go back and forth. But again, represent Triple Play Fantasy Basketball. I am James Lewis, and I'll see you next time for 2.0.